Hey, good morning. Yes, it is. It is Friday the 13th. You can't make this up, right? So I thought with it being Friday the 13th, it's Hell Day per se, that we talk about misinformation, disinformation, and how to cope and how to deal with it. And no, this has nothing to do about the presidential election. It's about when somebody wrongs you. So stay tuned. Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. My name is Eric, and yes, this is the weekday. This is the end of the week, guys, for you guys that work 5 days. So today is Friday. I know a lot of you guys are retired too, but today is Friday. So what are we talking about today? I thought it'd be a great topic for Friday the 13th because, that's supposed to be like a scary day and crap goes wrong on the. It's a day you don't walk on cracks and all your other stuff, right? But I was reading through some Facebook posts this morning, and I had one of those aha moments of what to talk about today. And that is, what do you do when somebody wrongs you? I mean, I know there's one train of thought that says take the high road. The other one says hit them below the belt. And then the other one is don't do anything. But if it's your business, your reputation that's on the line, see, there's good and bad with the internet, all right? And a lot of these platforms. And that is, a lot of people seem to be more quick to rush to judgment and bash your company. And then for some reason, people you never dealt with seem to jump on and think it's okay as well. And you're like, what? No, nobody is bashing me. I got up this morning and I'm reading through the Facebook posts and I come across one of, and they're not even on my friends list, but they had somebody on my friends list name, and so it showed up in my feed, okay? And he's talking about taking his truck to one of the local Dodge stores to get it fixed. And they say that it's going to need a complete engine tear down. Truck's got 30,000 miles on it. And they told him that the work wouldn't be covered because it wasn't under warranty because he hadn't had the oil changes done by them. Now, maybe that's true, maybe that's not true. I don't know. But you have to be prepared as a business of how are you going to combat this stuff. Because it may be just a customer that got pissed off. And I brought my kids up and anybody that will listen. Do not put anything in a post, video or anything, that you don't want the whole world to see and hear. You think you can pull it back, right? Like delete it? But I'm telling you right now, guys, that it's being stored somewhere. Nothing ever gets deleted. But sometimes we get so pissed, when I was younger and you got pissed, you just, were pissed. There wasn't much you could do about it, right? But now the world has changed where everybody is quick to criticize someone else. And the key here is you only know one side of the story, and that is the person with the vehicle that's pissed, right? And they claimed that they had bought the last three vehicles through this dealership and no more. They ended up taking it 100 and some miles away to another Dodge dealership that was different, a lot bigger. When I say bigger, is they have dealerships throughout quite a number of states. All right, I'm not going to say the name. But they went ahead and took care of the guy's issue. And there was no charge. It was under warranty. Now, again, we're only hearing one side of the story. So I'll be honest with you. The first thing that comes to my mind is the smaller dealership can't absorb and maybe is unwilling to say to Dodge that it should be under warranty. And Dodge may have pushed back and said no. And knowing that it's just a smaller dealership, what are they going to do, right? They're going to come back to the customer and say no. Okay, that's one scenario. The other scenario, help me out, guys, with you guys that are in auto mechanics. Would there be a better payout if it was non-warranty versus warranty? I mean, I know now you have to collect it from the individual, but is there a bigger payout than what Dodge would pay you to rebuild that engine? And at this point in time in the game, I don't know why people are even rebuilding engines anyways. They're like everything else, just swap it out, right? But I don't know. All right. So that could be another scenario. And with the Dodge brand, with the bigger dealership that's carrying a lot of cars for them, probably just said, don't even worry about it, you know. And it could have been typographical error, right? It was punched in wrong, because I've had stuff come back that should have been under warranty because I coded it wrong, or it was the wrong code that it should have been, right? But that's a back and forth thing. But what should that small dealership do now? Because this person took to Facebook and just smeared them. They may have not seen the post yet. Why do I say yet? Because I keep track. I go look to make sure if there is an issue, I like to confront it quick, okay? And if I can make it right, I'll make it right. But if the customer is totally in the wrong, then I don't care who they go cry to. It's on them. And I can use a couple examples in my own scenarios. You know, we sell on eBay, Amazon, our own website, but this was an eBay purchase. And he bought a muffler for a chainsaw, all right? And we packaged up a muffler and sent him a muffler. And somewhere between here and there, it shows that it was shipped from us to him, right? But he didn't get it within a couple of days. This was a few years back. And he sent us a message saying he had not received it. And I said, well, give it a few more days. And if it doesn't show up, I will ship another one. And if the first one shows up, could you please send it back? So I thought things were fine. Next thing I know, and a few days later, he's gone to the BBB, the Better Business Bureau. He's gone to some of the small engine forums and he's bashing us for being scammers. By that point, mind you, I'm looking at it and it says delivered. Delivered. So he also ran to eBay. He wanted his money back. He didn't want a second one. Well, why not? Because he already got the first one, right? So with eBay, and through such a stink, and he gave me a negative feedback, by the way. Even though we know he got the muffler. He went to eBay and complained to them. And they came to us and said, look, you're stellar, top-rated seller, blah, blah, blah. We're going to just take care of him. And I told them, because I used to know one of the senior vice presidents, don't do it. Don't give in. Because once you show them you're willing to give in on this, what else are you willing to give in on? The guy has got the product that he ordered and paid for. Yes, it showed up a day or two late, but he's got it. It shows delivered. They gave him a refund out of their money. Not mine. Theirs. Of course, I spent the next couple of days, because he left the negative feedback on eBay. eBay removed that promptly. Gave the buyer a warning. Because we could prove everything. I went to the BBB because we were actually a member. And they were getting $400 to $600 a year out of me. And we joined, to be honest with you, for credibility, but we weren't too happy with the way they handled it. And explained the situation to them, and they said, well, we can say it's resolved. Resolved. So it wasn't a year or two later, I said, you know what? Paying you $400 to $600 is resolved. I don't need you. If you're not going to protect me and my business, why do I have you? And then I went to the forums where this guy had posted and talked to the forums moderators in private messaging. And I showed him, I said, if you want to call me or I can call you, explain the situation. They took all the posts down. Not because they could have got hit for slander on their site, because they don't have, back then it used to be that you were responsible for anything that was posted on your website. And if you started a forum and there was somebody, lying, you could be held for it, right? But I wasn't pressing that envelope. I was just pressing see my side of it. Because there's always, three sides to a story, as my grandparents used to say. Their story, your story, and the truth somewhere in the middle, right? But it still left a negative, connotation to me. And then I started becoming skeptical of my buyers. And that's the worst thing you can do, is have one person overtake where you've had 100 other sales that day. You have an issue with one, and the one is the one that stands out, right? We all have those days. I can give you another one. BBB was involved in this one too. We get a call from a customer, and he's got a Massimo side by side. Okay? And he's complaining about it not running right, and there's something not right in the transmission, all right? So he brings it to us. And the way it's supposed to be is they're supposed to contact Massimo. Massimo will get a hold of us and then arrange to have Either us pick it up if they're willing to pay for it, Massimo, or the customer, or have the customer deliver it to us, and we've got a repair order on it already from Massimo. This is one of the reasons I tell you guys stay away from them. They're the same machine. They just come different names, but they're all coming out of China. But the customer never contacted Massimo. If they did, they didn't get a repair order because we didn't get one. So when they brought the unit to us, we said, they called me on the phone. I said, yeah, I'll take a look at it quick for you, but, what makes you think it's under warranty? And they said, well, we've only had it for a year, and we don't even have 30 miles on it. So, well, let's take a look at it, But the minute we got it there, in order for it to be under warranty, I had to go back and do the steps, right? And I tried doing that with Massimo. Massimo saying, no, the customer has to call us. So then you get on the phone to the customer, and the customer, you need to call Massimo and tell them the issues you're having, so they'll produce a work order on that unit so that we can work on it, unless you're paying for it out of your own pocket. Now, this unit only had 30 miles on it. But you should have seen the thing. It was beat. It had places in the floorboard of where it hit so hard, it looked like a branch had come right through the undercarriage of that. Headlights gone. You name it. And when you're doing stuff, whether you're doing warranty or non-warranty, I look at who it is that has it and how well they take care of it. And that's where I base my judgment call on, right? And the judgment call was, you're not taking care of this unit. You are just pounding the piss out of it. And he said, well, it doesn't matter. It's still under warranty. So we went back and forth, back and forth. Next thing you know, it's a couple months later. And he's calling about his Massimo. He has yet to call Massimo to get a work order. Because Massimo is saying, well, they have to hear from the customer, not me. They'll hear from me once they send a work order for me to work on it. So this guy went to the BBB. Same, like, if it were in the same state, I would swear it was the muffler guy, right? He went on this rant about how we were not refusing to work on it, but we hadn't turned a wrench on it. It had been sitting there a couple of months, and it was all bullshit. There were no truth there, other than it was sitting at our place. The real truth is Massimo had to prove the warranty or approve the work on that unit or had it in their system that unit was at my place to be worked on because the customer didn't feel they needed to call Massimo because we were a Massimo warranty shop. We should take care of it all. So finally I explained to Massimo what's going on. I said, look, you guys got to figure this out. And Massimo said, all right, we'll do a work order on it, but the guy that was in charge of yay or nay on warranty work, he said, Eric, you've always been honest with me. What do you think about the customer and the unit and how they used it? I said, well, to be honest with you, they trashed it. But, what can I say? And he said, well, we may not warranty that thing. Send us pictures of what the machine looks like. So I did. And they turned around and they said they would deal with it. So they got a hold of the customer and told the customer, come get your unit. We're not paying for any warranty work on it. and the condition that it's in, with it being less than a year old, you know, it was operator error. It wasn't the unit's fault. It was the operator's fault. They had hit so hard that they actually cracked the aluminum casing for the rear end. You know, folks, the better you take care of stuff, the longer you will have it. And I hate to say it, but this was a younger kid. Nobody's looking at longevity of having that around for the next 10, 12 years, right? They're just like, maybe I'll keep it for a year or two and go find something else. But with them, we had to go to BBB again and explain the situation to the rep that was there. And we gave him Massimo's phone number, direct number with a extension number to the guy, Terry. Told him to call him. They did. And they wrote resolved. All right. How do you combat misinformation, disinformation? I mean, I've seen people that just hated other people so much that they just trashed them online. And it takes a certain breed. I should say a certain breed, but it's easier to trash somebody online than it is to have an issue with them face to face. And I'll never lower myself to where it's going to be, you know, a shouting match. I don't get into that. If I see that the conversation is going nowhere, my fail-safe is, you know what? You're right. And they'll come back with, what? You're right. End of story. Move on. The other key to today's talk is you can't let that one person ruin the stellarness of everything else that you're doing. You're always going to have that one or two people that you aren't going to be able to please, no matter what, and are going to run their little mouths before they think. What did they think that the result would be by them doing that? They thought they could get their way. And they were willing to say and do anything to get their way. I'm not like that. I was brought up to know the difference between right and wrong. And if you're wrong, say you're wrong. And do what you need to correct it to make it a right. But I was also brought up, if you're right and you're standing on principle, don't back down. Because if you back down, they will continue to do it. Maybe not with you, but somebody else. And that eBay buyer, probably it wasn't the first time. The eBay wouldn't let me know info on what the buyer had done or said to other customers or other sellers. But it's not hard to do a feedback check. And yet, I wasn't the first one to get a negative. Not on his list. So, how do you combat it? You know, with the internet, people are quick to post. And then when they cool down, they're deleting, right? But by that time, depending on how many friends you have on your friends list, and it's probably been read a few times, right? And for the smart ones that copy and paste, especially if they know the other person involved, they do so. I'm going to start wrapping this up, but I mean, you probably have seen it yourself of where somebody posts something and then a bunch of people get on the bandwagon of, you know, giving their 2 cents. And then you take the multiple of shares, goes viral, and it all was because there was a disagreement and it wasn't resolved. So on that note, put in the comments, how do you resolve issues? Do you just let them fade away into the dark, or do you confront them? I'd be curious to know. So on that note, you guys have a great Friday, going into a great weekend. It's supposed to be nice. Stay safe, and we'll catch you here bright and early Monday morning. Again, thanks so much for watching.